Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and today we are playing my Deck of TBR game for June. Yay! It's the best time of the month! We get to pick what I'm reading next month. Even though I'm not done with May's reading, I'm still so looking forward to June. I don't think I have any plans for June necessarily, besides the buzzword and wanting to read romance and mystery or thrillers. I'm just wanting books that keep me super engaged or make me feel happy. So that's what I'm hoping to get on here. We'll see if I can do it or not. But before we jump into June's game, let's talk about May a little bit. So I had 6 books that I needed to read, and they fulfilled 6 prompts. Let me look at my journal for me to remember what they were. Okay, for the prompt Everand, I picked Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, and I did read that. For the prompt released this year, I picked First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I have not read this yet, but I'm filming this super early. We still have almost 2 weeks left of the month, a week and a half. And I need to read this for my in-person book club that I'm a part of, so I will read this. I've also heard once you start it, you read through it really fast. So I'll get that one done, I promise. Then I had to pick a book on my Kindle, and for that, I chose Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Delilah Green Doesn't Win. Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. And I have not read that one either, but it will get done because it is my Patreon buddy read for the month, or Patreon book club. One and the same in my eyes. Then I got the Read It or Not prompt, and if you didn't watch that video, you won't know that my first book, my first choice for the Read It or Not challenge was Manacled by Senlin Yu. I did read that. Then I got the prompt person on the cover, and I chose The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I did read that. And lastly, I got an adaptation, and for that I chose Everyday by David Levithan, and I did complete that. So technically, I've only read 4 of the 6 books, but I will get to the other 2. It is a for sure thing. Those are the next 2 books I will pick up, and I think I'll get through definitely First Lie Wins really quickly, and Delilah Green Doesn't Care. I'm in the mood for a romance, and so it will get done, people. So we're counting it as a win, which means I get to pick any books. There's no stipulation on where I get my books from. Okay, now we need to reset the board, which we need to make some changes here, folks. So there's nothing to replace in the 2 through 10 category, but we do need to change out the face card prompts. If you didn't see, I have created a Patreon, and I decided that the ace would be dedicated to my patrons and letting them pick books for me. So if I ever get an ace, it will be the patron pick. And I have a jar of books that they've given me so far. I'm still waiting on some of them to respond, but I know I'll get them eventually. They get to give me 2 choices, and no matter what it is, I have to give it a try. I'm excited about it. I feel like my patrons wouldn't do me dirty, right? They want to give me books that I would like. And then we will just fill in the King, Queen, and Jack with the other goal type books or prompts that I have on here. The face card prompts stay on the board. I do not replace them when I draw them. So let's get the King prompt. We'll do this one, a self-destruct book. I still have quite a few of those, and those will self-destruct in November. For the Queen, we'll do this one, a book of the month. I haven't read one of those in a while, so I wouldn't mind getting one. And lastly is a Kindle book. Forgot one thing, of course. We need to change out the bomb book prompt, or book. It's currently Outlander. Should I put it back in? I never know what to do. I'll put it back in. We'll see. I might draw it again. Why not? Let's pick this one. Oh, the Swiss Family Robinson. I don't want to read that. So here's to hoping that we don't get the Joker. Am I jinxing myself? We'll see. Got the cards, I think. We're ready to play. I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't think I am. Yay! The first card for my June TBR is a 5 of spades. see what that is. Oh, poetry. Not in the cards at all, but let me go check my poetry collections quick. I don't think there's many to choose from. I'm actually not going to pick any of the poetry collections I have. I really only have 2 that I haven't read, and neither of them are ones that I want to pick right now. But I have recently seen Andy from Andy Reads talk about a poet, an author named Clint Smith, and I want to read some of their work. So I'm going to try Above Ground by Clint Smith. It has really high ratings on Goodreads. It says it is a remarkable poetry collection with inextinguishable generosity and abundant wisdom. Clint Smith's vibrant and compelling new collection traverses the vast emotional terrain of fatherhood and explores how becoming a parent has recalibrated his sense of the world. That's perfect for me because I am a mother of a 2- and 4-year-old. So I'm excited to try that one out. Wasn't in the cards, but I'm looking forward to it. Ha! Actually, it was in the cards. The deck of cards. I crack myself up. Let's replace the 5 of spades with this prompt. A classic. Let's not get that one again. We'll put the 5 of spades back in the deck and we'll shuffle. I'm kind of hoping I'll get an ace just for something new and fun and different. If you are interested in joining my Patreon community, the link is down below. We've had some fun so far. I think it's a great community. Anyway, let's pick book number 2, a 9 of clubs. This is swap, which means I could swap any of the books that I've previously chosen for something I want myself. That's rather interesting because that means that this is a book less than normal. I normally draw 5 cards, and with the swap, that means I'll only be choosing 4 books. Math is mathing. This is very interesting because Above Ground wasn't on my ideas for June. I might swap it. Let me do some thinking. I am going to try to knock the buzzword prompt out with this prompt. I'm saying prompt too many times. Anyway, so the buzzword for June is repeating words. So one example that Kayla gave is Mrs. Death, Mrs. Death. Both Mrs. and Death are repeating in that title. So I went through my shelves and found a few, and I'm actually going to let my patrons pick on this one, and that will be our buddy read for June. So it's going to be one of these 3 books. First we have In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware, getting my thriller fix in here, possibly. Then we've got Young Jane Young by Gabrielle Zevin. I have wanted to read more from Gabrielle Zevin ever since Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow was one of my favorites. Actually, my favorite book of 2022. So we'll see. This could be good. And this is maybe pushing it a little bit, but A Woman is No Man. Man is in here twice. So I'm counting it as a repeating word. This is by Etaf Rum. I loved Evil Eye by Etaf Rum last year, and I've heard that this one is probably even better. So patrons, you'll get to decide which one I read, and we read together. I will put what they pick right here. We'll replace that prompt with a beautiful cover. Lovely. We'll put the 9 of clubs back in, and we'll shuffle. Okay, so we've only picked 1 book now because Above Ground is not in the stack anymore. It would have been nice to have that in the stack because it's short and a poetry collection, but okay. I got an ace! Okay, so an ace is a patron pick, which means I get my little jar of all of their choices. And I will tell you, none of these books, when I wrote them down on these little slips of paper, are books that I own. So I'll have to make sure I can get them somehow this month. And most of them were not on my radar, actually. So let's see what we get. For the first patron pick. And these are for my diamonds and above, diamonds and hearts. Okay. I've actually wanted to give this one a try for a long time, and this author a try for a long time. So this is A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, and this was from my patron Sarah. So thank you, Sarah. This is a short little book, and I believe it's kind of a sci-fi fantasy. I don't know much more else than that. Is there something to do with monks? I don't know. I'm going to give it a try. I do know that this one is available on Everand, so that is probably how I will consume it. Yay! No prompt to replace, so we'll just stick that ace back in there and shuffle. This is still seeming like a very easy TBR. Will I jinx myself? We'll see. Okay. Draw number 4 for book number 3 is a queen. A queen is a book of the month. What do I want to pick? Tricky. I could go with the smart choice and pick the one book of the month that I have on my self-destruct TBR. This is my oldest book of the month. It is This Close to Okay by Lisa Cross Smith. But The Frozen River is kind of calling my name. We're going to go for the smart decision, smart Becca, and I will pick up This Close to Okay by Lisa Cross Smith. The little blurb here says, a powerful, vibrant novel about the life-changing weekend shared between two strangers. I think that someone in these two strangers is going to jump off a bridge and the other in the relationship stops them from doing that. So it'll definitely be hard hitting, but I'm excited to finally read it after getting it in December of 2020. Wow, what a different time. Okay, so this is going on the stack. Again, because it was a face card, we don't have a prompt to replace, so we'll just put that queen back in and shuffle for what will be our last draw. Seems crazy. But good short little game. That means there's lots of room for me to read other things this month, which is always good. We also could be in danger if we draw a club. Watch me speak it into existence. No! But it is another ace. And it's an ace of diamonds, which is the exact ace I drew before, which means we add another draw. And we get this draw back out. Patrons, you really have a lot to say in this TBR this month. Okay, let's pick this one. Okay, this is from Jane. Jane recommended With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is one of hers that I have not read yet, but I'm excited to try it. I believe it's a YA. Let me double check. And is it written in verse? I might be making that up, but it's for sure a young adult contemporary. Not sure about written in verse, but it says, with her daughter to care for and her abuela to help support, high school senior Imani Santiago has to make the tough decisions and do what must be done. The one place she can let her responsibilities go is in the kitchen, where she adds a little something magical to everything she cooks, turning her food into straight-up goodness. Still, she knows she doesn't have enough time for her school's new culinary arts class, doesn't have the money for the class's trip to Spain, and shouldn't still be dreaming of someday working in a real kitchen. But even with all the rules she has for her life and all the rules everyone expects her to play by, once Imani starts cooking, her only real choice is to let her talent break free. Awesome. I'm going to need to mark it as want to read on Goodreads, and thank you, Jane, for the recommendation. Totally jinxed myself, not with the clubs, but with the Ace of Diamonds being drawn for a second time. So now this will be our last draw, because I don't add punishments for draws past 6, if that makes sense. My game. I swear I'm not making up the rules as I go. I promise. All right, let's see what we get. A 9 of diamonds. Dystopian. I had no plans, no plans of reading a dystopian book. This might be stretching it a little bit, but it is listed in the genres on its Goodreads page. It's the very last one, but I'm going to count it. This is Leave the World Behind by Rumaan Alam. I picked it because mostly it's the only dystopian I have on my shelves, I think. And it's short, it's little, which means I think I could get through it pretty quickly. I've heard that you either love this book or you hate it. We'll see what side of the coin I land on, but it says on the back that Amanda and Clay head out to a remote corner of Long Island expecting a vacation, a quiet reprieve from life in New York City, quality time with their teenage son and daughter, and a taste of the good life in the luxurious home they've rented for the week. But a late night knock on the door breaks the spell. Ruth and GH are an older couple. It's their house, and they've arrived in a panic. They bring the news that a sudden blackout has swept New York. But in this rural area, with the TV and internet now down and no cell phone service, it's hard to know what to believe. Should Amanda and Clay trust this couple, and vice versa? What has happened back in New York? Is the vacation home, isolated from civilization, truly a safe place for their families? And are they safe from one another? Dun dun dun! So kind of dystopian, but also thriller-ish and literary. I'm going for it. So my stack looks a little bigger than what it actually is because I have my 3 choices for my swap. But let's recap what we have here. It's a little bit of a weird stack. Anyway, bear with me. Okay, so for the swap, I got rid of my poetry collection, Above Ground by Clint Smith, and replaced it with one of these 3 buzzword options, either In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware, Young Jane Young by Gabrielle Zevin, or A Woman Is No Man by Etaf Room. One of those will be chosen. It's this one. Then I drew an ace, so a patron got to pick, and I chose out of the jar A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. Then I got the prompt book of the month, and for that I chose This Close to Okay by Lisa Cross Smith. Then I got another ace, and out of that little jar I picked With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. And lastly I got the prompt dystopian, and I chose Leave the World Behind by Rumaan Alam. So, still a 5-book TBR. I didn't get any of the books I was thinking of, except for these buzzword prompts. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting month. I'll get these done for sure, I think. I've been reading like crazy lately. It's just been the best. I'm having a great time, enjoying the books I'm reading, and wanting to read a lot. So, I should be able to get to all the others that I want to get to. Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, let me know if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them. It'd be great to have some bookish conversation with you down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!